And here it is. We go again. Roll up, ladies and gentlemen. One man went to mow. Here it is. We go again. The first installment of the day. So this righteousness are fulfilled now because the session has commenced. So the first installment of today of a two-session space. So this early session is going to be very, very short, no more than an hour thereabouts. So it's essentially just straight to it, and off we go. So the session commences and your company is required. The usual protocol, please click on the like button as you are coming in. And if you're not already subscribed, please click on subscribe. Let's come in via a different introduction music this time around. To our attention for the original anthem.
To the Nigerian national anthem, Mr. Albert Congo raises the flag of the new nation.
Nigeria, we hail thee, our own dear native land. Though tribe and tongue may differ, in brotherhood we stand. Nigerians old and proud to serve our sovereign motherland. Our flag shall be a symbol that truth and justice reign. In peace or battle honored, and this we count as gain. To hang on to our children a banner without stain. O God of all creation, grant this our one request. Help us to build a nation where no man is oppressed. And so with peace and plenty, Nigeria may be blessed.
There, Nigeria, we hail thee, and we hail thee indeed. So Nigeria, we hail thee, as guys, I bring you this. Tinubu is being mischievous with claims I opposed Muslim ticket in 2015. As Saraki speaking, so that now that infamous Tinubu speech that swept up a lot of people, some of them have now felt the need to address what's been said. So Saraki is certainly one of them, and he comes back to counter Tinubu. So quite how he counters Tinubu, we'll find out shortly. This we'll find out shortly as well. The Tinubu space are dominating this cycle of this broadcast, I should say. So Tinubu's narrative dominating this session. If you go to OHAFIA and mention Senator, if you go to OHAFIA and mention Senate President Ahmed Lawan's name, they will think he's a tomato dealer. Former governor of Borno State, KASIM SHETTIMA. So here it is right there. It's not to disparage AHMAD LAWAN, essentially, but to say, as I've often said on this space, that he doesn't have name recognition. These people are not really known in Nigeria outside of the political cycle, outside of the political circle, and those of us that are political junkies. So outside of us that are pay attention to these things, the vast majority, they don't even know that these people exist as human beings. If you go to OHAFIA and mention Senate President Ahmed Lawan's name, they will think he's a tomato seller. So that is the former governor of Borno State, KASIM SHETTIMA, making that acerbic remark. Still making acerbic remarks, Senator, ex-governor SHETTIMA. Osinbajo is a nice guy, but nice men do not make good leaders. They should be selling popcorns and ice creams. So there it is right there. He's just after everybody. You can already guess that is in the Tinubu team, and you know the dirty politics now in full pelt. Osinbajo is a nice man, but nice men do not make good leaders. They should be selling popcorn and ice cream. So there it is right there, number 99, the famous ice cream in the UK. So maybe Osinbajo, that is his calling in life. Tinubu, Osinbajo, Fayemi, other Southwest presidential aspirants meet today. So this is a make or mar meeting now. So decisions made now or not made ends that narrative of any consensus or not. So it either brings forth or ends the narrative of a consensus candidate within the Yoruba space. Tinubu, Osinbajo, Fayemi, other Southwest presidential aspirants meet today. So quite what the outcome of that meeting is, we'll find out shortly. And this then to round it off, Tinubu caves. So Tinubu now somewhat apologizing for that infamous thing that the infamous comments he made in ABEOKUTA. I couldn't quite put the words together. So Tinubu apologizing for the infamous words he made in ABEOKUTA. So that's the menu. So lean back, kick back, take it easy, relax into it. But before you do any of those, click on the like button and then click on the subscribe button as well. So having clicked on those two buttons, then just relax and let the session consume you, because that's what usually happens in this space. You get subsumed by the session. One man went to mow the eagle has landed.
Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapoli Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Have to abscond.
If Peter Obi is one of our best, can Nigeria pull off what was pulled?
Oh, you do I pop. Oh, Mary, oh, Nindizu, Bonilla, Abakare. Mama Daora, Unapoli Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapoli Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapoli Mary Nandi go, you do I walk. O Mary, Nizu, Miroya, Abakare, Mamanda Ora, Unapuri Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nandi win the war. Python that's one, Python that's two, now Python that's a three. Unapuri Mary Nandi.
And there you heard it right there from the eastern quarters. Nnamdi wins the war. So Nnamdi wins the war. As guys, I bring you this. Tinubu, Osinbajo, Fayemi, other Southwest presidential aspirants meet today. The ruling All Progressive Congress presidential aspirants from the Southwest are expected to hold a final meeting in Abuja today, Saturday, to decide on the way forward. Correspondents can confirm. The 7 presidential aspirants from the Southwest are Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, APC stalwart Bola Tinubu, Governor Kayode Fayemi of Ekiti State, former Ogun State Governor Ibikunle Amosun, Deputy Majority Leader of the Senate Ajayi Borofis, former Speaker of the House of Representatives Dimeji Bankole, and fiery Lagos cleric Pastor Tunde Bakare. Also expected at the meeting are Governors Babajide Sanwo-Olu, Dapo Abiodun, Gboyega Oyetola, and Rotimi Akeredolu. Some ministers of the Southwest extraction are also expected to attend the parley. Correspondents learned that the meeting would hold at the Abuja home of former governor of Ogun State, Chief Olusegun Oshoba, around 8 p.m. Impeccable sources told correspondents that the discussion would border on Southwest unity and reach a possible consensus. One of the aspirants who wished to remain anonymous said, we will all be at the meeting at Chief Oshoba's home by 8 p.m. in Abuja. Everyone is expected to be present. We will all sit together and discuss the need to ensure that the Southwest gets the ticket. However, all of us will be asked to be truthful with one another and see whom amongst us has the best chance of winning the primary. Then if anyone is willing to step down to boost the chances of the Southwest, then this will be encouraged. Correspondents gathered on Friday that intense lobbying by some northern governors to ensure that the APC gives its presidential ticket to a northerner had unsettled the Southwest bloc of the party. This was said to have caused Tinubu's outburst at a meeting in Ogun State. This was said to have caused Tinubu's outburst at a meeting with Ogun State delegates on Thursday, where he insisted that APC must give its ticket to a Yoruba man and that he must be the favored candidate. So, and it looks as though this is happening in the Southeast as well. Okorocha Ohaneye Onu other Southeast aspirants in closed-door meeting. Presidential aspirants from the Southeast had an emergency meeting on Friday to deliberate on a consensus aspirant for the region. The frontline aspirant from the region are Ebonyi State Governor Dave Umahi, former Minister of Education Emeka Nwajuibi, former Imo State Governor Senator Rochas Okorocha, and the only APC female race in the race, the only APC female in the race, Mrs. Uju Ken Ohanenye, former Senate President Ken Nnamani, former Minister of Science and Technology Ogbonaya Olu, and Ike Obasi Mokelu. Although their last meeting took place at the Maitama home of Okorocha days before his house was raided by operatives of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the venue of their Saturday meeting is unknown. A source told correspondents that just as the Southwest leaders, the Igbo aspirants had resolved to consider throwing their weight behind one of their own ahead of the convention. The source disclosed that all the presidential hopefuls in the region were meeting almost on a daily basis. So we ran that off there. And we go to this. Tinubu retracting his steps somewhat. Yesterday in ABEOKUTA, a Yoruba heartland, Bola Tinubu said he was instrumental to the emergence of Muhammad Buhari as Nigeria's president in 2015. He tried first and failed. He tried second time and failed. He tried third time and failed. He even cried on television that he would never run for president again. Mr. Tinubu said whilst addressing delegates in the afternoon. I went to meet him and told him that this is not a crime matter. We will support you and you will be president. Several videos from the event, which was open to media and the general public, are still on the internet. Today, Mr. Tinubu, a former governor of Lagos State and prominent Yoruba political leader, has walked back his statement and showered effusive praises on Mr. Buhari, who arrived from a 3-day state visit to Spain earlier today. Here is Tinubu's statement. We have entered the meat of the primary season. Sensationalism and willful inaccuracy tend to push aside truth during such moments. I make this statement so that truth and accuracy may have a chance. It is important that people truly know what I said and where I stand. Whatever view you have of me is within your right to make, but let it be based on truth and not on falsehood or reckless exaggeration. There have been gross misinterpretations in some sectors of the media regarding the comments I made on Thursday in ABEOKUTA, the Ogun State capital. To a degree, the erroneous interpretation may have somewhat to a degree, the erroneous interpretation may be somewhat innocent, given that I spoke in Yoruba language. Those who do not understand the nuances of this richly layered and subtly and subtle language may have inadvertently yet erroneously missed the true meaning of what I said whilst attempting to translate my speech. Instead of weighing what I said carefully, they translated so quickly and thus inaccurately in an attempt to meet media deadlines. Of course, there are also those who knew better, but they conveyed these inaccuracies because the sensationalism suits their political purposes. Again, such propaganda and misinformation become daily fare in the heat of political season. Let's just state what needs to be stated. My opponents want to present a narrative that I made comments disrespectful of President Buhari in hopes that such a narrative would convince President Buhari to oppose my aspiration regarding the approaching primary. President Buhari is an experienced and accomplished leader. I do not believe he will be taken by tricks of such people. Let me also erase any doubts. My respect and regard for President Buhari as Commander-in-Chief of this nation and a person of high and as a person are high and unfailing. I shall never denigrate him. I certainly did not do that in ABEOKUTA. We have been political partners for a long time, and I hope that partnership continues well into the future. I would do nothing to jeopardize it. I believe our party is the best hope for the nation to right itself. I believe I have a future role larger than the one I now have. I also believe President Buhari has a continuing and important role to play even after his tenure as president is over. Indeed, I consistently supported the president and his administration, even when the administration has come under intense criticism. My foot has always been planted solidly in defense of the president. The president personally nominated me to coordinate his re-election campaign in 2019. He did this not because I opposed him or because I was indifferent. He did so because I was firmly with him in 2015, and I've stood firmly beside him ever since. When I publicly announced my aspiration to seek the party nomination for the upcoming presidential election, I stressed that my strategic objective was to build on the foundation laid by the Buhari administration. In fact, I believe I was the first aspirant to inform President Buhari of this presidential intention. It was a sign of the respect I have for him and his office. It is unthinkable that I would asperse the leader of the party, for which I hope to be the next flag bearer. It makes no sense at all to do such an indelicate, unseeming thing. In ABEOKUTA, I spoke to the unwarranted attacks against my person that have been part of the campaign of others. I also recounted the history of the party for those whose memory needed repair. There are many who had no role in the birth of the APC and its victories. Now that the party has climbed the political summit, they want to claim credit for something they had no part in. However, it cannot be said that this cannot be said of President Buhari. I am proud of my role in the advent of the APC and its electoral successes. But President Buhari, of course, stands as the main driver of this success. He was elected president twice. He has borne the weight of national governance for 7 years. Nothing can rival that. I would not dare belittle what he has done or what he has meant to the party and the nation. So essentially, I'm sorry, sir. That I just conclude that to mean I'm sorry, sir. So I'm sorry, sir, from what is his name? Tinubu. So let me give you a quick readout of the Saraki piece, because I want to steam through this session just as quickly as I can. So this is Saraki. Let me go straight to his statement. Saraki said, "When I and other leaders of the All Progressive Congress APC in 2014 stood against having a Muslim ticket. It was not a decision targeted at any individual or group by one taking in the nation's interest. Asiwaju knows this and is just being mischievous by presenting this decision as something aimed at stopping his ambition. Let me make it clear that the decision to oppose the plans by some people to make APC present a Muslim ticket in 2015 was in the national interest, and I will take the same stance today, tomorrow, and any other day. My stance is based on the fact that such a ticket is not good for the unity of the country and will further accentuate one of our fault lines. Even Asiwaju Tinubu knows that I am a man who does not shy away from standing for what is right. He knows that I don't follow the crowd and I take a stand based on my conviction of what is good for the country and what is not good for her. It is also obvious that I have paid prices for this stand. The opposition to a Muslim ticket was not targeted at Tinubu or any other person. It was a decision that even all party members, leaders know helped the victory of the party and also worked for the unity of the country. That decision is not about self, but national and collective interest. It is a decision which served the purpose of the people of Nigeria, and I have no regret supporting it. Also expressing surprise that Tinubu has refused to move on and still sulked over what happened in 2014. The former governor of Kwara State added that the APC presidential aspirant had become so fixated on the Muslim ticket issue of 2014 that he worked so hard to stop his emergence as Senate president in a move he considered as retaliatory. Saraki alleged that Tinubu maintained an adversarial position against the 8th National Assembly, initiated covert and overt measures aimed at undermining the federal legislature and set the executive against the legislature. He also accused the former governor of Lagos State of twisting issues and making false claims in his quarterly press statements to make the National Assembly under his leadership look bad. The statement continues. Despite calling himself a Democrat, he continued to support every effort to frustrate the 8th National Assembly and thought its efforts to provide good representation to Nigerians. He was the architect of several moves that set the presidency on a collision course with the National Assembly. At a time, he would twist issues and make false claims in his quarterly press statements aimed at making the National Assembly under my leadership look bad. Now, Nigerians know the truth. We can only urge Senator Tinubu to look at the bigger picture on all matters and stop viewing all issues within the prism of his ambition and personal interest. So that is a loaded final statement there. So look beyond yourself. That also speaks to the space of that aspiration, that contest for the PDP, for the APC rather ticket. So before I bring on the panelists, let me just play you these two video clips that speaks to these two storylines, the last two storylines. So this is Senator Yerima speaking about Osinbajo and also speaking about Ahmed Lawan. So listen to him.
So you think Tinubu is a name that sells?
Tinubu is the best person. We don't even have any option.
What about Osinbajo? Does the name sell? The VP?
Osinbajo is a good man. He's a nice man. But nice men do not make good leaders, because nice men tend to be nasty. Nice men should be selling popcorn, ice cream, and balabo. But he's a very decent person. I can't doubt that. And he's my personal friend, and I would rather not comment on his person. But he's a very decent man. That I can tell you.
So that's the senator on Yemi Osinbajo, a popcorn seller, a guguru seller, but not a president. So a guguru seller.
That dynamics has changed things.
Yes.
For those who say, I'm a LAWAN from the same northeast as Atiku Abubakar, is there an even, does that make the race even in that sense?
Well, my own position is very simple. APC was formed by a merger of so many interests. The ACN, the ANPP, the CPC, then ABGA, and of course the new NPN. And in a multi-ethnic, multi-religious polity like ours, we have to be sensitive and conscious of the diversity of the nation. Ahmed Lawan is my kinsman, is my brother, and he holds me in the highest esteem. And I played a very prominent role in his emergence as the president of the Senate against my own kinsman, Mohamed Alindume. But leadership goes beyond sentiments. He has spent 20 years in the Senate, in the legislature. He has a PhD in geography. He had spent a stint in the academia before joining the political industry. Does he have the administrative skill set to rule a complex nation like Nigeria? This is a million-dollar question, and most importantly, sir,
can he also stand shoulder to shoulder with Atiku Abubakar?
He can't.
You think so?
That's the fact. You know, he's a peer amongst equals. Let's not delude ourselves. He became a senator with 144,000 votes. I became a senator with votes 2.5 times that he garnered in Yobe. No. Go to OHAFIA or Izochukwu and ask for Ahmed Lawan. The first name that will come to their mind is that of the tomato dealer who is bringing tomato from Maiduguri. Go to any other part of the South. Does the brand name sells?
So you think Tinubu is a name that sells?
Tinubu is the best person we don't even have.
So there it is right there. Yemi Osinbajo is a popcorn seller and Ahmed Lawan a tomato seller. So there it is. How far from that assertion are you? Thomas, good to see you. So that is Senator Yerima calling it as he understands it. Thomas, to you.
Oh man, I listened to the full interview earlier on in the evening. No. The man is out there to sell his candidate. But selling your candidate is not good to diminish others. Hailing those candidates and diminishing them in another way, it doesn't make sense to me. You said Ahmed Lawan is my brother, is my this, is my that. When we are talking about him, you should be talking about somebody selling something. Nah. You should really speak about Tinubu and what Tinubu has to give, what Tinubu has on the table to offer Nigerians, not diminishing others because of your own candidate.
No, that's fair enough. In the cut and thrust of politics, you have to undersell your opponent and oversell your principles. So that's what he has done. But really, the words that he used, it might not be to your taste, but the substance of it, is it far from the truth? He's saying that Ahmed Lawan is no more than a tomato seller in that if you go to the southeast and you say the word Ahmed Lawan, they will innocently think that is some malam that is importing tomato from Maiduguri, and he is right. Who in the southeast knows that a person is called Ahmed Lawan? Who in Ekiti knows that? Who in Oyualafin knows that there's a human being? Nobody knows this guy, and he's saying right, that the nice guy of Yemi Osinbajo is good to have as a friend, but not as a leader. That is just a life assumption. That is just a life fact. Who wants a nice guy as a leader?
No. Nobody wants a nice guy as a leader. One man, Tinubu. I sorry for him. It's not good. He's not in a good position. One man. It's if that man doesn't get that ticket, I don't know what is going to happen to him, because as somebody at the earlier section, I think last night's section, somebody said, Baba Kure said Tinubu doesn't even believe that those Yoruba caucus can even buy the form, not talk less of saying they want to contest for this presidency. So if he thought maybe it's all in all, it's the man, is the omniscient, is the alpha and omega of APC and in the southwest. It's not good for him. And I hope, but with what Shettima is saying, I think maybe he knows that something we don't know. Maybe he has information that we don't have, which I know.
What Shettima is saying, it rhymes with something that even I suggested on this platform, that they are looking to field a weak candidate because they want to give Atiku Abubakar the mandate that they stole from him in 2019 back. That was the promise that they made to him. And him saying that if you go to anywhere in the south and you say if you say the word Ahmed LAWAN, they will just think it's a northern businessman, a meat seller, a tomato seller, somebody bringing onions in. And innocently, they will think that because nobody knows him. So if you put him up against Atiku, that's meat and drink now. Atiku will just go back to Dubai and wait to February to come and become president. He won't even campaign, you know. If you put Yemi So the only person they can put up against him for a fight is Tinubu. And if they don't do that, then that tells us that deal that we assumed is the case.
And even analyze Osinbajo as nice man.
Nice man, but that's how he presents himself now, Mr. Nice Guy. But do you want Mr. Nice? Is that not how Osinbajo presents himself, Mr. Nice Guy?
The man in Dior.
The man in Dior, you know.
So APC should not make that mistake, one man. They should just put this man. I'm not the fan of Tinubu in any way, but as we are permutating, they should just put him up. I don't see, because one man, what I believe in Tinubu is he will make a good cabinet. He will make a good cabinet. The example is there. Lagos State is there. One man, I cite the example of Lagos State some years ago. It's Oshodi Saleh. You can't even walk there. No vehicle can pass there. It's a big gutter like a hole. But this man, he there, he bring Fashola, he brought Fashola, he brought Ambode. Lagos is like, it's more Dubai now. At least we can say Lagos has improved in a sort way. At least this man will bring a good cabinet for Nigeria. But his leg is shaking, one man. With all this going on, his leg is really shaking. And let's just wait. It's just a matter of 48 hours. We are even here Saturday night in Australia, so it's just a couple hours away. But it's not good for the man at all. It's not good for the man. And they force him to be saying all what he's saying. They force him, the people working against him, force him to be saying all those things. All those things that he said earlier on, it's not good for him. Diminishing the Ogun State governor, talking about BUHARI. All what he said is really true, one man.
He has moved to reverse those statements. And by the way, we're still pushing for 100 likes, well in excess of 100 people watching the stream. So if you have no reason not to click on the like button, then you have every reason to click on it, because that supports the platform. So if you want to do that, most appreciated, click on the like button. But you know, all the permutations favor him now. You know, so why shouldn't he push hard, you know, to fulfill this ambition?
You are right, one man. As it rightly said from onset, that this is my lifelong ambition. And he said, since he has been the president, one man, when BUHARI came in, I even thought they will offer him like minister or like a big...
No, I think it's too big for a minister. And to that space of that statement that...
Or SSG.
No, they always you know, the SSG is somebody that monitors the presidency closely, and I don't think Buhari will want that proximity between him and Tinubu. But that statement that he made in Abeokuta, he is trying to reverse it somewhat. That the because he spoke in Yoruba, a lot of the nuance of what he was saying was lost on the people who were translating it, either because they have no concept of the Yoruba language or they were looking to mischief make. And you know that the Yoruba language is a coded language, really. The Yorubas don't speak directly, they speak in
Yes.
inferred
In
meanings.
parables.
Yes, so he was speaking in inferred meanings, he claims, but that was interpreted both in literal and mischievous ways. So he's trying to reverse it somewhat and is gushing in his eulogy of Malam Buhari. So he's trying to repair that space. But is it too little, too late, Thomas?
No, to me, it's not too late. It's not too late. It's not too late. I think it did well, even though it didn't diminish Buhari in any way. To me, that's my opinion. That is what
When
happened.
they called him a crybaby, it's not diminishing him.
Did Buhari cry or not?
But does he want to be reminded of that as president? That is a
No, but
crybaby.
one man, this is the fact. He single-handedly is the brain behind Buhari's success. We can't shy away from it. But this crying is supposed not to bring this crying into this matter. But he's speaking out of frustration, one man. The man
Thomas, the guy is reminding them because it seems like they've forgotten so quick. You know, that's the same thing they said to the guy, the Ogun State governor. Remember, they were tearing your posters up and down. You know, he's just trying to remind them. And that brings me to Sorio. That brings me to this guy, for once, made a sense. Adamu Garba.
G, we lost you.
Yeah, carry on, Thomas.
Oh, yes. So, to me, this statement is not far-fetched. That's the truth, one man. If we are just deceiving ourselves, what he said, but he spoke in anger. I don't think he should go to that route. But one man, to be honest with you,
would you say he spoke in anger or he spoke in passion?
It's a little bit. There's a little bit frustration in his.
All right. Okay.
Yes, on the both sides. But one man, the man deserves it. He has worked for it. I'm not campaigning for him. He has worked for it, one man. He said, I've never collect contract. I never collect ministerial appointment. He's looking forward to this time. And if Buhari, if they have this gentleman agreement, why can't they fulfill it? If Tinubu fulfills...
how often would the Yorubas be stabbed in the back because before they know that a Fulani man is not to be trusted? All through history, Awolowo, Obasanjo, now this guy, go as far back in history. Anytime a Yoruba person comes to a gentleman's agreement with this, especially this tribe amongst the northerners, it's always treacherous to the disadvantage of the Yoruba. So but the next Yoruba person will think that he's smarter enough, but he wants to play by gentleman rules. But these people, they don't know the meaning of that. They always told him that, look, this guy will stab you in the back, and truth to the words of the people who know better, he thinks but now he's been stabbed in the back.
One man. I feel for that guy. I feel for that for Tinubu, because I don't even see by this time around Buhari should be telling us what is candidate. He should be telling us if it is Tinubu, one man. We can't say maybe he wanted to cut us unaware. He should be saying this is who I want. It's almost.
But let's speak fact, Thomas. Let's speak fact. Is it really Buhari that betrayed Tinubu? I was trying to read out something to you now, but maybe you didn't hear me. Then you were talking, so I have to stop.
You just faded out. You just faded out. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So the Garba guy is saying.
You are gone again. No? If you can hear me, you are gone again. But I carry on, Thomas. You are gone again.
The people that betrayed that the people that betrayed Tinubu are the ministers, the Southwest governors, that look around him. He was mentioning all those Hausa guy, the Aminu, Kashima Imam, Ganduje. Those are the people you will find around him, which are not tenants. Because I think even if Aburai doesn't want it, if somebody like Osinbajo didn't come out, if what's his name, former governor of Osun State, if all those guys were not pulling all those strings they are pulling, it wouldn't be this tough. So I think it's we that we
No, it was it
Yorubas
was
in
it was, it
particular.
was Buhari that opened up that space. If Buhari had signaled that he was going to hand over to him to fulfill what people thought, what people popularly generally held belief that they had that agreement. If he had signaled to the space that he was going to honor the agreement, then all of these people would have just fallen in line with that. It was because he opened that space that they entered it, Buhari.
And one man, I don't even expect any northerner to be on that ballot or buy form in the first place, because as we rightly said, they said they switch the position. Now the northerner is the chairman of the party because the presidency is coming to the south. But if Ahmed Lawan is there, I don't know the rest of the northerner that is on the ballot. It looks somehow to me, because I feel for this man. I'm not Tinubu fan in any way. I'm speaking in this is my face, but if they have this gentleman agreement, they normally say in politics, if they have gentleman agreement, why can't you fulfill it? If Tinubu fulfill his own part, why can't Buhari fulfill his own part? And just even when APC started selling their form, I thought they will not even anyone like 2 or 3 people will be buying the form, because everybody know that Tinubu is their big is the one pushing for the president come 2023. But since then, almost 23 or almost 30 people bought the form. So it's one man. Let's just fingers crossed. Let's see what will happen on Monday.
Oh, all right, brilliant. Thank you, Thomas. So, Thomas, let me go on from you to Baba Kure, who hopefully is still with us. Baba Kure, are you there? Oh, all right. Let's go on to DOG. So, DOG, are you there?
Yeah.
All right. All right. So we did then DOJ. We're still somewhat the Tinubu narrative, but this time coming at it from the Saraki angle. Saraki is telling us that that's a speech that Tinubu made in Abeokuta. He hit so many people in that just moment of lapse in judgment. A Peter Obi moment he had on that rostrum there. So moment of lapse in judgment. So he hit a lot of people, and they are coming out one by one to counter back. Saraki comes to counter back because he was saying that he would have been the vice president, but Saraki pushed hard of a narrative that you cannot have a Muslim ticket. And that was why then, even though he had that slot, Buhari gave him the option to nominate to that spot, and then he put Yemi Osinbajo there. But Saraki came back now in the public space to say that he's been a bit fast and loose with fact and truth. That what actually played out in that space was that the whole of the party agreed that for the best chance to win, you cannot present a Muslim ticket, especially given the temperature of the country then. So what are you then making then of this obfuscation that Saraki accuses Tinubu of?
He's actually right. His logic is very simple. Obviously, you can fill the Muslim ticket, which actually opened the space to Shibanjo. So I just think it's part of the meltdown. I think Tinubu needs to chill and be a politician, at least till these primaries. But I think, sometimes betrayal can actually turn you to something, especially when you perceive it or you can see it. It's written on the wall. You can see what is going on. I'm sure he wouldn't have expected Osinbajo to come out. When he came out, then a lot of things have piled up on top of that. So all that put together, and which is what led him to having to remind the governor of Ogun State, because he knows Osinbajo is from there. Like
And
when
that
it
one
comes
has
to
hopefully declared for Shibanjo.
yeah, what does he expect?
He
So
had no
that's part
choice,
of, yeah. What does he expect? So those are part of why he was trying to say all those things that, like even Buhari now, that is not wanting me. You remember when he was crying, that I came to Kaduna to assure you that you will still be president, though. You know, is I don't know. He needs to. It's too late anyway. He said all he will say already. So that whatever he does now won't change
There is
anything.
no coming back from it, is there?
Exactly, yeah. He has drummed the bombshell already. So, but I just think in a way too, he maybe his team or him himself he has probably put 2 plus 2 together, and I believe is a man that would have had a second plan. Whatever he would have had a decision he's going to take if they don't give him the ticket. It's either he step down now. If he doesn't step down, he doesn't get a ticket.
There's a headline that suggests that if he doesn't get the ticket, he will transmute into Sunday Igboho. Are you seeing that somewhat?
It's a possibility. It's more
Like a Yoruba
he's
nationalist.
Jagaban of the Agbero, like Uncle Alexander used to say, So he can transmit to that and disrupt a lot of
Sorry,
things.
GOG, one man. Sorry. He mentioned about Orile Yoruba in his assertion when that interview that he granted. He said he told Buhari that if Buhari can respect Orile Yoruba, like the Yoruba country,
Yoruba,
the,
yeah.
the
No, that wasn't
nation
what he said. That wasn't what he said. He said Buhari should treat the Yorubas well. He said the one condition that
no, he mentioned nation. He mentioned nation.
I don't know, but
He did.
I think
You can
all right.
play it.
No, I'm not playing anything because
No,
it's
I
a
know.
short 1
Let me
hour
just say
session.
this.
He said treat Yorubas right. That's what he said.
Treat Yorubas right, yes. So but carry on, DOG.
So I think all that pie together, but his team, they should have actually worked out all these scenarios, because what you say too matters a lot sometimes. You trying to condemn other people when you should be putting your point and your facts out there. We should, and for your caliber of a politician in that country, he has said too much. I will understand some things he said. That is like allowed when it comes to proper campaign. When you get the ticket, you can aim a dig at your opponent and all that. But in this stage, it's just the pressure and the disappointment and the betrayal that is really killing the guy. Is killing him softly, and is you can actually is reflecting in his utterances. And that's one thing. Whatever you've said it. Obviously, you won't even say a thing like that to Dapo and expect Dapo to even still support you, even if Dapo is having a second thought about this man help me. Those are the kind of things you would have talked in
Because
private with.
Abiodun is a governor of a state, so I mean everybody calls him His Excellency. So you must accord some, because he is essentially he is Ogun State. So you disparaging him is essentially disparaging that whole state and its population.
Then if you even say a thing like that, it would have been one-on-one with Dapo, not on the outside where everybody is like that. If you after the whole program, you would have called Dapo to side and say, Dapo, remember how we got here, like man to man talk, not saying it, because if you even look at the whole surroundings of the guy, like he's oddly the military police guy, like maybe a secretary or an usher, the way they are all looking like, why is this man? Even Ganduje at some point, there was a point he was bending down his head, like, But yeah, I think the age is part of it and the annoyance of what is going on. That's why I said most people have helped. Most people have helped has let me down. But that's the game. That's politics. And I blame him for part of it, to be honest, because I think these guys were happy with where they are while this regime was going on. They forgot that it's a party. They forgot they need to play a part and put their feet on ground. If they've been trying to counter Buhari in some things within the party, making themselves and their say stronger in the party, Buhari won't have this leverage of trying to manipulate everybody against him this much. But they all let him do what he wants while they are doing what they want, and they are all enjoying the money and enjoying their freedom and the power they have. So the guy has masterminded everything, and it was too late. Then I think the way he came out too, he started smelling that trouble coming. Then he ran to Asurok and declared his intention. Almost everybody knows your intention from onset, you know. So for me, I think if he doesn't get the ticket, that will be more, the election won't be that smooth as the chief of Agbero of Lagos Island, you know. Things, all these Oluomo, that's when all those Oluomo and things will come in play. Even some people's life herself are not secure. The people need to be on guard.
All right. All right. Thank you, DOG. So let me acknowledge Alexander Superchat, who speaks to that narrative you were giving, DOG. It says, Tinubu, the chief Agbero of Lagos Island. Shake my head. So I think a lot of people, it's from the streets, you know, it's from the streets. They say you cannot polish a turd. They say no matter how many times a fish seller takes a bath, it will still always smell of fish. This is it. You cannot take an Agbero from Moshi to Victoria Island and suddenly turn him to an Ajebota. No, it's not possible. Agbero, always Agbero.
Finiwa.
There it is. So let me come from you to Freddie, just because of the pressure of time. I was going to try to cap this for 1 hour because of other commitments. But let's go on to Freddie, who seems to be a new voice to the space, and hopefully we hear from him. Freddie, are you there?
Hello.
Yeah, good to have you, Freddie.
Can you hear me?
Perfectly. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you very much. 1 month. Freddie's not a new guy. It's just that I went away for some time. If you remember Freddie, that's back when we started earlier on.
All right, good to have you back then. So let me take let me take you to the space then of this meeting that has been convened in Abuja amongst the Yoruba leaders to come up with a consensus candidate. Just a last-minute attempt to have a united Yoruba front. Do you expect anything to come out of this meeting? Because we know what the sticking points are, and the sticking points are Tinubu and Osinbajo. So do you expect anything to come out of that to you, Freddie?
To be honest with you, I don't expect anything, because unless they will concede to give it to Tinubu, which I doubt, and then if it goes to Osinbajo, I don't think Tinubu will take it lying down. So because to him, he sees this as a right, as like he rightly put it, it's his turn. So I don't think anything is gonna make him back down now, unless that meeting is to persuade Osinbajo to step down for him. That's the only way that's gonna work. Because
and that's not likely to happen, is it?
And exactly, I don't think, because to me, out of the two of them, I think Osinbajo is the more likely person to get more votes, genuine votes from Nigeria than Tinubu, to be honest, if I'm honest with you. And I don't think the Yorubas are going to ask Osinbajo to step down for him. So I think that's a problem, you know, brewing up there. According to that, his statement at ABEOKUTA, the way he was sounding like a frustrated person that sounding betrayed and annoyed, and from the tone and everything, he even called the governor. He said, "What was that? Yoruba language? Exactly this thing, isn't it?
This one.
This one. Yeah. Can you imagine that? That on its own is, I think he feels entitled. I don't know, but I don't think that meeting is going to be of any good unless it is him that they will project. That's the only way he will take it.
That's the only consensus in play. Is either a consensus under Tinubu or no consensus? Because, and understandably, this guy has been working this gig since 1999. So one small boy cannot just come and then just chance him now. He's not going to let that now.
Yeah,
And
but
on a human level, we can all understand that on a human level.
we can understand that one man, but it is if actually he loves the country he wants to serve, if genuinely
the country, he has ambition. So what are you talking about? Who loves the country?
But that's what I'm saying, because if the whole thing is about Nigeria, he should now, hearken to the voice of the people then. But yeah, like you rightly said, nobody loves it. It's all about personal interest, isn't it? That's what it is. It's all about personal interest. I hope they settle it so that they don't start another problem in the Southwest. At the moment, Southwest is a bit the only zone that is a bit calm now and everything. And then I'm foreseeing if Tinubu does not get this thing, an uproar will start there. And then there will be a problem again rising up from the side.
If Tinubu does not get it, and then they gift the presidency to Atiku, which a lot of people suspect that is. And by the way, we're still pushing for that 100 likes. We've been around 145 over 150. So please push us to 100 likes. We were trying to achieve that. But if they don't give the tickets to Tinubu and then they present Osinbajo as a weak candidate for Atiku to defeat, that Yoruba nation tonality that was initiated by Professor Akitoye and Sunday Igboho, it will surpass the Biafra agitation very, very quickly.
I know. But do you think
enough is enough? We don't want
Osinbajo will be a weak candidate? I don't believe Osinbajo
will be a weak candidate. Atiku will defeat in his sleep.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I don't think Atiku is gonna get any votes again from the southeast or south. I'm telling you that now for sure.
He will.
No, I don't think so. These are the people that gave him the vote. The 11 million he thought he got before, majority of them came from east and south, isn't it? Southeast and south and south.
When he picks his vice presidential nominee, come back and we'll have this conversation again.
Okay.
I'm certain that it will take a good size from Igbo land.
No, I don't think so. As it is now, I'm from the east. We already feel kind of I don't know. They are pulling out of PDP at the moment. Nobody is going to vote PDP. I'm giving you that for a fact. I'm
seeing a lot of movement in the east to APGA, a former to Labour, a former
exactly. That's what I'm telling you.
APGA chairman, he just left APGA to go to Labour. And I know that is it Keremadu that also went to join Peter Obi? So some senior names now are now joining the Labour Party.
He will not, because the Southeast was predominantly PDP. They voted PDP massively at the last election, and the South as well. Now they feel somehow betrayed or whatever, which is rightly so to me. But so I don't think they will vote PDP again. If not, they will rather vote an MPP or whatever than vote PDP. I'm telling you that for a fact now. It's not. So if Atiku is going to get a vote, the vote will come from the north and maybe from the west. Then if Osinbajo is dead, the Igbos will more likely vote Osinbajo than vote Atiku. I'm telling you that for sure.
What about Peter Obi? Would they vote?
Obviously, they will vote for Peter Obi. As in, take Peter Obi out of the equation and leave Osinbajo and
Peter Obi
Atiku.
is the spoiler. Peter Obi is the spoiler in this election because he's now going to capture a handful of votes that is no longer in play, and a significant number of votes at that. So you have to permutate that into who becomes the president.
I think the thing is that the Nigeria. That's the thing. The Nigerian at the moment, they've lost interest in APC. To be honest with you, that is what is working against Osinbajo. Maybe because there's I don't know. They've lost interest on APC. To them, they failed. So allowing them to continue again will be the same. Continuing on the same problem that we are in at the moment. I think Peter Obi going to Labour was a good thing for him, to be honest with you, in my own opinion. Leave the two of them together to battle it out and maybe spoil it for them or whoever that whatever they gets it. But he might.
Peter Obi will be a real he might
just bring up a surprise. Who knows? Who knows? He might just because.
Are you one of those people romanticizing with the Peter Obi presidency? Are you one of the naive-minded ones?
No. Don't say naive. It's not naive. To be honest with you, no, it's not naive. In as much as I think it's gonna be difficult. How do I put it? I don't think it's going to be a smooth sail. I don't think it's going to be possible. But he will have a huge say on who becomes the president of Nigeria. He will take a good chunk of votes away from there. I'm telling you that for a fact.
No, yeah, okay. That's the expectation as well. So that he's the unknown quantity now that mixes it up a bit. Freddie,
guys,
sorry, I want to move on because I have two.
No, not even. I just want to chip in something.
No, sorry. I have two time-barred things that I have to do. So I was going to do just a 1-hour session. So apologies, DOJ, but I must press on. Let me hear from two Niger. So to Niger, let me come to you and put you the same position that I put Freddie. The meeting that the Southwest is having in Abuja. So what are your expectations of the outcome? Do you expect anything even to come out of it? So to Niger, just a short commentary on that.
Thanks. I don't know what is going to come out of it, and I'm not even sure what the point is, because I think that the whole episode about what Tinubu was doing is an exercise in vanity. We've had about barely 16 presidents since 1960 something, and a man thinks that they are entitled to becoming president somehow. And most of our presidents, if you look at how they all became president, they were not.
Is that sense of entitlement not through the dint of hard work? Is it not hard work that's led to that sense of entitlement?
No, a lot of people there are people, laborers every day that are working very hard.
No, we're not talking about laborers now. We're talking about
human beings.
Has he walked to the position to feel that he should be president?
We shouldn't be putting
the right to have that feeling.
No, we don't. He hasn't.
No. He has not worked. He has not done enough to feel that he should be president.
No, nobody has.
Okay.
This is a position that is almost divine, and you are acting as if it's not about you, it's about the time, it's about what the people need. I don't know how leadership has somehow become what people think they can own. If the country is at war, they will need a different kind of leader. If the country is in peril of economic crisis, they will need a different kind of leader. Leadership is not necessarily about somebody that is ordained to become a leader. When the time calls, the leader shows up. This is why even from the independence, Tafawa Balewa, he wasn't ordained. He didn't just come like, oh, I deserve it. No, he came just as a form of default leadership. After Agbin Rossi, the same thing. Gowon, the same thing. Just name the leader. Buhari, the same thing. Even the Buhari first term, the same thing. How he made Buhari the president, the same thing. You can't own leadership. Buhari tried it 4 times, he failed. According to him, if he had learned any lesson from what he was saying, he will understand what leadership is all about. He helped Buhari to become a leader. Why couldn't he do it himself? Because it wasn't his time. It may never have been his time. A lot of people have come and gone that never became leaders. You know how many stories you hear in so many countries where people think they are entitled to become leaders and they didn't become leaders? And the only person I know in Nigeria that did that was Abacha. How did that end up? And I think, anyway, Abacha, Babangida plan is becoming a leader after Buhari became first head of state. And he came, by the time he left the country in chaos. Abacha plotted to be a leader for a very, very long time too. By the time he left the country in chaos. These things, it's not your stuff to own, and it leaves people terribly this thing poorer for it. If Osinbajo is the right man, so be it. And how is it that he doesn't understand that it's about the people? Leadership, since when have we lost sight of what it's about? Because we don't deserve it anymore. It's almost as if our people don't deserve good leadership anymore. That we can settle for anybody that just feels that they deserve to be leaders. The people are the ones that should decide. If it comes to the worst, I can understand as a human being, he felt betrayed. And he thought, okay, fine. Pull back. If I was some people, they'll say, you know what, I was feeling emotional at the moment. I'll pull myself back. This is, I shouldn't have said some of those things I've said. I can understand that. If he comes on and says that today, I will understand that, because people get emotional, they get into themselves, and they lose perspective sometimes, and they don't mean what they say. And I'm sure in time, if he doesn't know that now, in time he is going to understand that too.
Can I interject?
Okay, carry on, Baba. Correct. Yeah.
I have a question for Tunaija. Because in his statement, he said decision of the people. So my question now is that who are these people that say to you that they really want Osinbajo or Tinubu?
That is the point. You know how Tinubu, when he was narrating it himself, said he went and said, you know what, Buhari has cried and had so many troubles. I will help him win this presidency. That's how people win presidency. It's not about just necessarily your power. If you had that much power, they would have laid it at your feet.
What Baba Kure is asking you,
to me,
how are you concluding that
it is the will of people?
Is not the will of the people?
Because to me, the reason why I'm asking you that question is that we cannot really say it is the will of people to nominate Osinbajo, to nominate Atiku, or to nominate Peter Obi. It is the politicians that came together and say, this is the person we want to present. You see, I like the system of United States, right? In fact, I can tell you it's the best in the world. You might not like it. You see, each candidate, let's say for instance, this Tinubu, Osinbajo, and whoever from APC, they will first go to each state. They will campaign. They will present their manifesto. People will vote for them from state to state, from state to state, from state to state before the final leg. So that election is what they are going to use to determine who will be the flag bearer of Democrat or what's the name of this second party, or Republican.
Republican.
Yeah.
But in this case now, we cannot really say that is the will of people, because it is politicians gather themselves somewhere because of their so selfish benefit, their own selfish interest, to decide, okay, where we want to present Osinbajo for us.
No, I agree with your point. You have to remember the point I'm making here.
Sorry, Tunaija. Tunaija, address what Baba Kure put to you very, very briefly. I have something that is time barred that I have to go and do. So address that very briefly, and then I must then leave.
Yeah. Okay. About that, I said that the people themselves, we don't seem to have a say. However, the people that are selecting, these politicians that are selecting, they are also people. And just as Tinubu was a person too that helped Buhari, those people feel now that some other person is better. If it was good for him to choose somebody, why is it not good for some other person to choose other people? You should not feel entitled to anything when it comes to leadership. However, it has happened that these people have the power to select leaders now. They are choosing not to select him. He should make his peace with that. He has accomplished more than many people in Nigeria. Like, he's the top 1% of people in Nigeria. He should make his peace with that. He's had a good legacy. There is nothing to be ashamed about. Leadership is not for you to own. And I believe that people should be having more say, like you described, like in America. I said it yesterday. I said, why are our politicians always going to powerhouses, going to the mosque, going to the emirs? They don't go to the people. They don't go to the people in the north. Tinubu, whenever he goes to the north, he goes and donates money to this big guy, that big guy. He doesn't go and talk to the people.
But that's the phase now. Sorry, that's the phase of the politics. So they're in that power broker phase of securing a ticket. So once they secure the ticket, then they are at the people's phase of convincing the people. So the people on the streets, they have no decisions as to who gets the ticket. So why should they go and speak to them?
But what Akure was saying was that even before you get chosen, you still need to go to the people. But here, they just allow people to just rich people to select, powerful people to select. And that is not ideal. But if it was good for him to do for Buhari, why is it not good for some other person to do for him? If they don't choose him, so be it.
All right, that's a good spot to leave it. Let's just hear a very, very brief commentary. I was going to shut down Alexander, but of course, you know, when you turn up, then that holds everything. And apologies, Babakure, I tried to come to you twice, but I couldn't get hold of you. But there is something time bad that I have to go and do. But we hear a quick word from Alexander, and then I'll shut down. Alexander,
yeah, very quick one, as usual. Tinubu sounds like a bitter old man. He sounds like someone who would rather destroy the party than admit that he lost the nomination. I think he's not. I think the party don't need him. They don't want him. They want Osinbajo. But I think that him playing this role he's playing right now is just to destroy the party eventually. So I think what we're looking at right now is an Atiku Osinbajo race, with Atiku winning by a landslide. So that's my opinion. That's what I wanted to contribute this morning.
All right. A lot of those opinions, especially yours and to Niger, I don't agree with. But hopefully you two gentlemen will join us in the later session.
Don't worry, one man, until when that election call and you see the results. You know,
okay, we will see.
I think the joker for Atiku is to present a Southwest vice president.
Are we going to have another Fulani president?
And that I don't agree with you. So,
yes.
Guys, I don't believe.